Joining us now here in Des Moines, along with Ed, is CBS News Chief Campaign and Election Correspondent Robert Costa. Both of you guys were out on the campaign trail yesterday. You've been following the closing pitches. Bob, I want to start with you. You've been covering the Trump campaign. How is the Trump campaign, how is Donald Trump defining victory here in Iowa?
Good to be with you, Tony, here in Iowa. I was at the Trump rally yesterday, and it's evident the Trump campaign's taking nothing for granted. Trump himself was saying to attendees, you better show up. Even if there's snow on the ground, even if it's cold, rouse your spouse, rouse your friends, get them to come out and caucus because they know, even though the polls show he's the front runner, he needs a bounce out of here to push away Nikki Haley, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, so he can go into New Hampshire and South Carolina with momentum.
Yeah, he does have the most enthusiasm among his supporters, according to our poll. Nikki Haley, she's now second in the polls. Her enthusiasm not as strong. What do you know, Ed?
Well, but there's something going on regarding her that we've seen here in the last few weeks, whether it's Iowa taking cues from the momentum she's seeing elsewhere or it's these late deciders, and there's always a good chunk of them in the Iowa caucus who've been watching things and seen her growing support across the country. Think, well, maybe that's the better non-Trump alternative if you're somebody who's looking for somebody other than the former president. At that event yesterday, what I kept hearing was also reflected in our polling. She says she's willing to work with Democrats. I think her Republican opponents would question that. Her Democrats would certainly, too. But the perception is she may be that more reasonable, mainstream Republican who can somehow bring the country back together. And they like the fact that she's totally different from all the other options, if only because she's a woman.
Yeah, Bob, I've heard Ron DeSantis say she may be more liberal than Gavin Newsom. So that's the knock on her, at least within Republican circles. But Ron DeSantis can't be happy, as he describes himself, as an underdog now when he had been the presumed Trump alternative. What went wrong for him? Does he have a path?
It really matters these final hours. Can he get people to come out tonight and caucus for him? Ron DeSantis has been to 99 counties in Iowa, and he has tried so hard for months to break into Trump's coalition in this state. We're talking about evangelical pastors, conservative Republicans who say maybe Trump's a little bit too much. We want a more traditional Republican, but we don't want someone like Nikki Haley. That for Ron DeSantis, if he doesn't do well here, if he comes in third or a faraway second, it's going to be hard, not for inside his campaign. They believe in him, but do donors believe in him? Do voters down the line believe in him? It's really going to matter, will he have the money to stay in the race after Iowa?
Ed, last question. New Hampshire is next. It's a very different place.
It sure is.
How different?
Well, first of all, this is a caucus. You all got to be there at 7 o'clock tonight versus, of course, a primary where you can vote most of the day. The biggest difference is, while this contest is closed to registered Republicans, New Hampshire has the open primary that allows independents to show up as well. That's why Haley is finding so much more support, because independents like what she's selling. And so that, the other thing, New Hampshire has a better track record of picking the eventual nominee. Iowa certainly does not. Maybe this just breaks that.
George Bush on the Republican side, the last person to win the caucus and go on to be president on the Republican side. Ed, Bob, thank you very much. Appreciate it.